the topics I want to talk about here, covering obviously a little bit of an update on the Equatorial Guinea situation. I'm sure some of you guys have seen or heard the previous podcast where I mentioned it. Absolutely crazy situation where this guy from Equatorial Guinea was unfortunately it was unfortunately revealed that he had been smashing every single one of his employees that happened to be female. And unfortunately for the females, they were also in relationships, and obviously unfortunately for him because he's got a wife and like 6 kids. But he literally smashed everybody. And the wild thing is about watching the video, because I watched a lot of the video for research purposes because of this particular podcast, so don't judge me. That guy can fuck, man. No word of a lie, that guy can fuck. That guy's a real fucker. Like for real, for real. Like he was going for days on some of these videos. Every single woman, from what I could tell, from the sounds of it, they looked like they were, happy with what was happening. They looked like they were enjoying it. He was giving them the business. And it's nice to see, because that's like the stereotype of like an African uncle, right? Or an African guy in general, similar to like, Latinos, Hispanics and shit. And even sometimes my Filipino niggas out there, we have appetites, we have desires, we have energy, we have that sort of joie de vivre. And I think you saw a lot of that in that guy's performances, because these women were all shapes and sizes, all, what's it, colors and creed, because they're all black, but in general, all shapes and sizes, all different age ranges, and he was giving them the business, bro. He was laying it down. Like I was watching it thinking, rotted, man, this is making me exhausted. And the funny thing is, as I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm still not sure because they keep saying 400, right, sex tapes. I'm still not sure if people are not giving the credit he deserves. I think people need to put some respect on this guy's name. I think it's 400 different women. Honestly, that's what I think it is. Obviously, the respect thing, people are going to be like, oh my God, he's cheating. Shut up. He's an African uncle. Do you know what I mean? He was going to do this regardless anyway. So now he's been caught, as if him being caught is going to stop it. He's probably doing it more now because other women have seen his, performance, seen what he's, working with, and they're like, you know what, I want some of that too. Don't be surprised. I always say in this particular pod and just in life in general, I personally think the greatest enemy of all women isn't men. And, even though men have, done a lot of inexcusable damage and pain and torment to women over the years, historically, I think the greatest enemy of all women is other women, mate. Because they will know most likely that he had a wife. They will know most likely, he was in a relationship. He was the father of 6 children. And they all knew that they were in a relationship also, and they are the ones who engage in this deplorable actions. But to be fair to Africa, and considering how toxic it is and the need to victim blame, I haven't really seen a lot of people pointing the finger at the guy. I've seen a lot of people, if anything, pointing the finger more at the women, which is really sad in that regard. I've seen a lot of like, what do they call it on the internet? It's like a flip of misogyny. But I guess it's meant to mean black misogyny, which maybe is probably worse. Maybe black misogyny is just as bad as like Latino, Hispanic misogyny, right? Those type of societies where the patriarchy, runs rampant and toxic masculinity is like, modus operandi. I think a lot of women in general will say that, in it probably. I don't know what you call the Hispanic one. Is it mission Hispanico, mission Latinx? I don't know, whatever it be called. But regardless, I see a lot more people blaming the women as opposed to attributing blame across everybody. Everyone deserves the blame. The woman deserves the blame. The guy deserves the blame for filming it. Because if he didn't film it, none of them would have probably known. And they all look like they, because I don't know about you guys, but in the past when I was really out here in the streets, like it was difficult, if damn near impossible, to get anybody to agree to filming. It's not really a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just unlucky, but I've never been in a situation where I've invited or I've floated that idea and it's been received warmly. At some points, it's been received very negatively to a point where I never spoke to that person again. Or no, sorry, they never spoke to me again. So, guys who are able to do that, like I respect that game. I respect that hustle. I respect that kind of that level of risk, because I never had it. I never flipping had it. Like even even when guys are like, oh, they can float the idea of like threesomes and stuff, or float the idea of like a polyamorous open relationship, whatever. Yo, that's never worked for me, ever. It's never flipping worked. So guys who can float the idea and execute, the filming thing and have the person look into the camera and really enjoy it, yo, you guys are good. you guys are flipping good. I'm not gonna lie, you guys are flipping good. So yeah, mad situation. But the update on this is this regarding here, an article actually from the BBC. The BBC's covering this. This is how big this story's become. It's currently on the BBC website. It's actually on the BBC Pigeon website too, but this is just BBC News Regular. It says Equatorial Guinea VP warns against office sex after a viral video. Warns against it, you know. Fucking crazy situation. Civil servants caught having sex in their offices will face severe measures, the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea has warned, after hundreds of allegedly pornographic videos were leaked to the public. Also, they were filming it in the office then, because I was wondering, because there's a few of these videos of this Equatorial Guinea dude, and you know, they're in the office doing a deed with the lady, and there's a screen that's got obviously different CCTV cameras on it, and they keep looking up at it. Like midway through, they're looking up at it, even as because he's got his famous stance that he does when he grabs his nipples. Like it's almost like a Wakanda Forever thing, but instead of doing a Wakanda Forever thing, he just grabs his nipples like that, and they keep looking up at the screen. So I guess they were doing it in the offices, and you know, some of the clips, mate, they were maybe better than some of the stuff you might see on corn websites. I swear to God, like the women will just walk in and they get straight to action. No flipping crazy plot. No, oh my God, the printer's broken, sir. Sorry, sir, the printer is broken. No, none of that shit, you know? Just straight to the business. Absolutely mad. But they're doing all that work. I don't know about you, but, you know, sometimes at work, if you got too drunk or you got high or something, that could be grounds for gross misconduct. You could get fired on the spot. These motherfuckers are smashing in the flipping office and they're not getting fired. Actually, you know what it reminds me of? There was a clip that went viral. I don't know, maybe I'm just starving and my algorithm is like this, but there's a clip that went viral recently on social media, or my side of social media at least, right? Where the person, where somebody filmed a couple, somebody filmed somebody having sex from the office window. Do you see that one? So it was an office window somewhere and they filmed them smashing. And then somehow they were able to find, I don't know how they found it, don't ask me how, but somehow they found who the people were, and it was leaked that they worked in the same office. No, they didn't work in the same office, but they worked in the same area. And then the video got leaked, and then we saw another clip later on down the week of this guy's colleagues like celebrating and buying him a cake or something that had something about Top Shag, or had like a picture of the thing on the cake, and it was like a celebration sort of thing. I was like, wow, this guy didn't get fired. Obviously, it was beneficial that he probably wasn't in a relationship and they were all single. That's a good thing. No one's heart got broken. But I remember seeing that video thinking, Jesus, man, people like nowadays are getting away with something, you know, that I probably wouldn't have got away with back in my day. Like back in my day in the office, like obviously, if you got too smashed at a staff party, or, you know, or you may have exchanged some fluids with, you know, I don't know, let's say like the co-founder of the company that you worked at, like you'd be in trouble, bro. You'd be in real trouble. So big up the people who are able to get away with it. Anyway, continuing. The videos reportedly involve high-ranking civil servant Baltazar Ebong having sex with various women, including the wives of prominent officials. By the way, his name being Baltazar Igongo is incredible. Baltazar Ngongo. Bang, you know, yeah, he definitely bangs, bro. He definitely bangs. If you've seen the videos, you know this guy bangs for real. No cap. Mr. Ngonga is head of the country's National Financial Investigation Agency and also a relative to the country's president. Oh, so he's actually okay. So this also explains why he was able to smash so many. Because I'd imagine, you know, similar to most women in most societies, you know, power, money, all that sort of stuff is important. So, because not to be offensive to the dude, he's not a looker or anything. I don't think, you know, it's not like he's like, you know, it's not like he's like the Chris Brown of Equatorial Guinea. And Equatorial Guinea people are very, very good looking because you know, they're former, I think, Portuguese colony as well. I think they speak Portuguese, French, and shit there. So you'd imagine a lot of the guys there have an interesting, you know, mix. But this guy looks the way he does, you know, he's bald and shit, you know, doesn't look too much like a winner. Maybe in real life he's a bit different, but if he's related to the president, you know, he's probably wealthy. He's probably stupid rich. So you can imagine, you know, or maybe as well, he just has crazy riz. That's also a thing, because you could imagine like in a society or in a country like Africa where some women are sometimes can be seen to be conservative. If you spit a bit of game, right? If you spit a bit of game, you could go a long way. So maybe that's a part of it. I don't know. Who knows what women see in whatever they do here. Let's continue. He has not yet commented. Vice President Theodore Obiang Mangue said that officials found engaging in sex acts at work would be suspended, that it's a flagrant violation of the code of conduct. Of course. He also ordered the installation of surveillance cameras in courts and ministries to combat indecent and illicit acts. To be fair though, I'd imagine in most government buildings, right, in most all this, I'd imagine that's where a lot of fucking goes on. I'd imagine a lot of illicit drug use and a lot of adult activities happen in government buildings, because those people, you know, they're working on top of each other 8 hours a day, sometimes more, for many years, because those jobs are really, you know, I've always wanted, like when I was younger, I always wanted a government job, but I could never get one, or like a local council job, because those jobs pay really well. They're really easy, because a lot of the people that work there, especially the older folks, you know, they just take their, you know, sweet house time and everything, and you can also have a job for life, essentially. But I never was lucky enough to get those type of roles. So you can only imagine the amount of fugging and sugging that must go on between those adults in those type of situations, working with each other every single day, on top of each other every single day for a very, very long period of time. Soon, you know, the receptionist starts to turn into fucking Megan Fox, you know what I mean? He's spent enough time with certain people, so I completely understand how that happens, and I don't think installing cameras is going to work. People are just going to find blind spots and start doing it there. A statement, because I remember even there was a time, some co-working spaces I worked in, I'm not going to lie, I swear on my life I've heard this. I've heard people smashing. I've heard on certain workplaces I've been in, especially co-working spaces, you walk past the toilets at a certain time in the week, especially during pay week, and you hear people sniffing and shit. You hear like audible sniffs, like people legitimately racking up lines and whatnot. Like, wow, okay. Anyway, it continues. A statement from the Vice President's office said that the decision had been taken in the wake of the wildly circulated videos in which it denigrated the image of the country. Also, that person has been suspended. It added that he had recommended opening an investigation. Videos in questions were leaked after Mr. Igonga was arrested on corruption charges, state television said. Last week, Vice President Obiang said pornographic videos had been flooding the social media. Since then, the flow of internet traffic, particularly downloading of images, has been severely disrupted in the country. What? Since then, the flow of internet traffic, particularly downloading of images, has been severely disrupted in the country. So those videos went so viral, it disrupted internet usage in the country because people were downloading so much of that data. Oh my God. that leak fucking woke up the entire country, innit? The videos in questions were leaked. As head of the National Finance Investigation Agency, Mr. Igonga works on the tackling financial crimes such as money laundering. Following the furor over the videos, Equatorial Guinea's chief prosecutor, Antololio Nzanguima, told the state TV that if Igonga was found to have infected with sexually transmitted diseases, he would be prosecuted for offences against public health. Lols. He's reportedly nicknamed Bello, Spanish for beautiful, on account of his good looks. Really? Okay, maybe I'm not the one to judge as a fellow man, but I wouldn't look at him and think good looks. He's not exactly A$AP Rocky, is he? But fair play, man. Fair play. You know what I mean? You play the game as it's meant to be played. That's the field that you're at. You're the hot boy over there. People think you look like a stud. And you also can fug, you know, you can go for hours and days with no help, no honey packs, no nothing, just pure African fucking temper, pure African fire. You gotta love it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure if I as a man was impressed with his performance, I'm sure other women were too. So this is only going to increase his fucking legend. He's gonna be fucking nowadays, you know what I mean? Women are gonna be all over it thinking, you know what, I wanna be next. But yeah, big up Mr. E-Bang. He definitely bangs. He definitely bangs. That's one thing we can say for certain.